Saka, take it away.
All right. Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing great today. So I'm not sure everyone on here knows me, but I work with Emma with Shockwave, and I also work with Perry for a lot of funnels that we launch. So that's and I work on the back end, usually around building the funnels, getting conversion rates improved overall. So that's why I'm usually at. So you guys never get to see me, but today I'm going to be walking through again, conversion rate optimization. I was on a couple of weeks ago. I think we didn't get that recording out there, but we had a session where I walked through how you can take the data from your landing pages, Google Analytics, and use that in ChatGPT to sort of find the hidden conversion rate leaks that you have. But today would be flipping that on the other side. So essentially, I'm going to be walking you through how you can review your landing pages before you actually go live. So you're looking at, a lot of times you get a lot of questions from people asking us like, hey, can you take a look at my landing page? Can you help me find what is wrong with this page before I go live? Most of the times you get this after people have gone live. And essentially this process that I have on hand today would be walking you through how we, you know, take all the data that you have on your page or the screenshots of your pages, put it in Gemini and ask it very specific questions that would give you information that you can use to improve the page. So I'm just going to share my screen. Trisha, if you can just give me access to share.
You should be good to share now.
All right. Here we go. Right. Just a quick infographic before I get into the nitty-gritty of it. So essentially, this is a 5-step process that I put together that is all about a pre-launch process, a protocol for your conversion rate optimization. When we're working on conversion rate optimization, we've got 5 major steps that I personally that I look at. The first thing is usually the visual analysis of pages. So again, I'm not sure if you're on the last call, but I specified or I stressed on how important it is to have tools like Hotjar installed on your pages, just so that you're having data on heat maps and data on where people are scrolling, people are stopping scroll, how many people are scrolling above the fold, getting to the bottom of the page. This is one of the most important things for us when we're trying to figure out what is working in terms of conversion, how far away the bounce rates on the pages. So the eye tracking and the visual analysis, it's always the key part for us for conversion rate optimization. And the second step is the framework. So we've got a 6-pillar framework that we use that I'm going to go over as well shortly. All around, again, what I looking for, like the distractions on pages. Is your page very clear? Are you showing value? Is it relevant? People feeling any sort of anxiety when they land on your page? And then the psychology around the content, how you structure your content. Are you having value above the fold, or do people have to scroll to the bottom of the page before they actually get to what you're selling? And the UX testing, of course, that's how testing on mobile, the customer journey, you know, taking account for fat fingers, stuff like this are usually not things that you think to look for if you're not in the conversion rate optimization uh, field. And then, of course, the last part is just step 5, the strategy that you would implement once you have all the information from the first 4 steps. So I'm just going to go over to this document that I've created that goes over those 5 stages. And I've put this it's a pretty long, not too long document, but I've done this way and I'm going to share to everyone because I would like for everyone to take this and go create their own custom GPTs or custom gem using this as the framework and then putting in your own information. I think that would be a very great exercise for everyone on the call. So I'm going to drop that after I'm done going through this. But essentially, it's a 5-step process. And the first task we have here is, again, checking for the visual structure of the page. So what I've done is I'm just going to go into Gemini and show you what I've done. So I have a gem created already, right? And I'm pretty sure we've covered a couple of steps on how you can create a gem, but I've dropped in all the 5 steps in here. And so this gem is ready to go in terms of testing out landing pages. I also have a quick landing page that I put together just earlier. So this is a shortened version of vibe coding profit, right? And what I'm going to do is take a quick screenshot of the entire page. So I have a nice tool over here that takes it's called Go Full Page. You can install that on your browsers. It takes a quick screenshot of your entire page because this is what we're going to need for this exercise. Because we're going to drop this screenshot into Gemini and ask it to, essentially review this page. So you can download it as a picture or a PDF, whichever either one works. And then the next thing that I do is for the mobile view. I'm sure a lot of people know about this, but if you right click on your browser and inspect, you've got a little tool over here if you're on Google where you can sort of stimulate or simulate like a mobile view, right? So you can do different mobiles for iPhone, for Androids, right? I'm just going to go with an iPhone 12. And then I'm also going to take a full screenshot of that page on mobile. Just takes a little second. Just going to grab everything that we have there. Perfect. So I'm just going to download that. So this is essentially, also a very good way for you to have that screenshot where you can zoom in and have a quick look on how your pages look like on mobile. Mobile issues are usually the number one problems when people launch funnels or launch landing pages. We all tend to forget to have a quick look on mobile. So I've got those two files downloaded, and I'm just going to go back into the document explaining what the first talks of that gem is going to do. So this is the end goal again is to see is to predict. So in this case, we don't have any data. We haven't gone live yet. We don't have any analytics on our page that has gathered data. So what we're telling it is to essentially predict based on the screenshot how people would potentially interact with this page, right? We don't have that information yet, but we want to do as much as possible to make sure the page already follows the industry standards before going live. So we're telling you to act as a senior, data scientist and a UX researcher, like you've got that uh, core strength of knowing what to look for. We're looking for a couple of major things on the page, which is like the above the fold testing, the 5 second test. Usually the 5 second test means what do you think people would interact with this page in the first 5 seconds and landing on the page? That's the most important time on the page. Usually bounce rates are less than 10 seconds on pages. We have the heat map and pattern analysis as well. So very technical terms, depending on how familiar you are with this, but the end result that it's going to generate for us is going to be very easy for you to take into your, like for example, Lovable, or take it back to your developers to essentially make changes. So we have a readability audit as well, essentially checking for how easy it is for people to actually read the content, spacing, padding. It's gonna essentially account for all of that, right? The time zone, basically, again, for mobile, the scrolling, we have all of that targeted. And then the output that I have it giving us here is basically immediate fixes and side-by-side comparison of how the experience would look like on desktop versus mobile, right? And then the next task is to implement the lift model. So essentially, just a framework that checks for the value you're giving on the page, clarity, the relevance from your ad to your page, the urgency, anxiety, distractions. Anxiety and distraction in particular is one of the most important parts of this model. A lot of pages that we see online or a lot of members build have a lot of distractions. So we want to be able to take away distractions. We want to give value and clarity and take away distractions. So this set of instructions is set up to do that. So again, you can take this information and you can play around with it and improve it if you feel like, and then create your own custom GPTs with this or custom gems. And the next task is the scroll fatigue and copy review. So again, scroll fatigue is something that we find a lot in the mobile versions, which is quite normal. A lot of pages are essentially always going to be much longer on mobile versus desktop. However, there are a couple of tricks that you can implement on how you make it a much easier flow on mobile versus desktop, right? And again, the output is a mobile content optimization list. You can take this and again, take that data right into Lovable. Like it's pretty straightforward. You take the feedback, you drop in Lovable, all the changes you want is going to get done. We have this that checks for fat finger. This is something that we get a lot when people are buying, especially with like one-click upsells. We see this a lot. People make this mistake a lot. The one-click upsell button and the no thanks are very close to each other. So if I want to click on no thanks, I immediately click on buy, and then I get charged, and you get in charge box, and people are reaching out to support. So it checks for pretty much all this kind of information. And then at the end of the day, it gives us a quick action plan as well as the original outputs from each of these steps, which essentially you would take to Lovable or Replit or wherever you're building. So I have that gem built out, and I'm going to share the document with everyone now. So if you want to start playing around with creating your own gem, just give me a second. Any questions so far, just while I share this?
We've got Bill.
Hi, Saka. Thanks.
Hey,
It's
Bill.
good stuff. I love this stuff always that you do. I was curious, with this thing here, would a person also pass over a brand guide, or would you suggest putting that in there as maybe a file reference
Yeah,
or
if you
something,
don't,
maybe?
yeah, so not necessarily a brand guide, but this would give you, this is mainly for your final product. So it's not going to look into your brand guide. It's a lot of how your pages are laid out. It's more of a layout. It's going to give you a couple of
Okay.
ideas around colors. If there's a very like contrast in colors, it's going to point that out immediately to you, and you can take that back and make actions on like the colors of your button against the background. Very visible mistakes, it's going to catch it for you. And this is also going to be a great tool if you just want to do a final QA before you go live, just so that you don't have to sit through. Because what tends to happen if you're involved in the building process is you've seen the page too many times, you really can't see some of the mistakes anymore. So this is basically a great tool that would help you catch those kind of mistakes that, we've just done this so many times, I can't see any mistakes anymore. So
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
you're welcome. All right. I'm just gonna
Sean.
go back into Gemini, and the way the Gem is set up is pretty straightforward. You just drop your pictures in there, and I have the screenshots already. I've renamed it as the desktop view and the mobile view, and just click enter. So, and I'm also gonna share this with everyone actually. Now, depending on the plan everyone is on, I'm gonna do two different tests. This is the first one that I'm doing. I'm running on the fast version, so pretty straightforward information. I'm gonna go ahead and do a second test where it's on the pro version. I believe everyone should at least have a pro version because the information I get on the pro version is way detailed and takes a little bit of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that again. We're gonna do this on the pro version and just kind of compare and see the kind of difference in data that we get on the pro version versus the fast version. I see Josh has a question, so I'm just gonna take that while this runs. Takes a few seconds.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. What if you have an existing site that already has data and everything? Could you use this to kind of, I guess, make it better if you upload all the data and upload everything that you have already for it to
Yeah,
kind of do a CRO overview of it?
yeah, you can do that. So I have that as the final point here. This was something that we did on the last call, but unfortunately, that call wasn't recorded, where I gave the prompt on how you can take. This is more data focused, so this focuses on using your good analytics data and your landing page screenshot. So I'm just gonna drop that as well and just rename this as, so you guys can easily find that. So I'm just gonna put that as well. So this is a different set of prompts, and this focuses on a landing page that already has like Hotjar information. It has Google Analytics information. I showed how you can download that information as a spreadsheet or as a PDF or as a spreadsheet, and then you can upload it in a ChatGPT with the screenshot, and you get that kind of data for an already launched page.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's just slightly different. So I'm just gonna go back and share my screen, and I'm just gonna go over the detailed version of it. And so this has gone through everything that we have essentially, and it's gone through impressions, and it's very detailed information. Depends if you're like a nerd about conversion rate optimization, you might want to read through all the information it gives you. So it tells you what you're doing well, right? The iPad is classic. Like it gives you the information that your call to action, which is the button that we have on the desktop, like it calls attention right away. So a lot of stuff that you might even not understand why it's working, this also lets you know, right? And it also gives you information on devices. So if you have ability to prompt Lovable to give you for different phone sizes, it also helps you point out for different phone sizes. It's quite detailed information that you're getting here. And it also has, again, the heat map analysis that is done, the F pattern, which is just essentially looking how people look across the top and just on vertical and horizontal scrolls. It gives you that information on that. And one of the most important part again is like the hot zones, right? So this is the hot zone is where people are going to be very attracted to looking at that section. The dead zones on mobile is where you have too many spaces. People tend to drop off in these spaces because they might feel you don't have anything below for them to scroll to. So it points that out. These are the places where you want to tighten up the gaps in the page, right? And it's very specific. It tells us exactly where this needs to be fixed. This is in the bonus section of the page. So it's not just random information or overall information, it's essentially telling us where in the page this needs to be fixed. Right? And then again, the text where you have too many texts. For example, this is a very great idea that we have here for what you would master. For example, or like the bonuses, we've laid it out this way. In some cases, you can test out weights. This is a lot of scrolling, right? And before you get to the bottom, in this case, for example, we didn't put a bottom. Again, this was a quick version that I put up just to have this test today, but we don't have a button below the fold or a sticky button on mobile. That's something that this would also catch for you and tell you what you need to fix, right? So very detailed information. It gives you also scoring as well, the clarity on mobile versus, desktop, right? So it's pretty much what I said earlier. So it requires excessive scrolling to view the whole package value. And this is things that you want to take back into your builders and fix it. Anxiety on desktop, it looks fine. It's easy to read, but on mobile, it's like a 4/10, right? Testimonials at the very bottom, which is fair. We got to scroll a whole lot more to find that information on mobile versus desktop. The scroll fatigue, again. So this is something that we see a lot with people like headline wrapping. So essentially, people build a lot of pages where, you have one word on a line or one letter on a line. People seem to miss this out a lot. So this is another great example of where you can essentially get this fixed. So just tons and tons of data. I want to, just while I'm going through this, if someone has a page that we want to run a quick test on, that would be great. I can take a quick screenshot and throw it in here. So if you want to just throw that in the chat while I go over this. Again, so this is all done for you. It tells you again where people are going to have issues with like the friction point. And this is all information that it's so much easy to fix when you're building with Lovable, because you can take all the information at the end and throw it in there, right? And so yeah, so that's just a quick breakdown of this. If you want to go like very detailed into this, you can also just take this and run this individually on Pro individually. I find that you get a bit more detailed information when you do that. It's also something that you can try out if you, that's why I gave everyone this document so you can play around with it. You have all the sets of information that you can go in there and just break it and make it better. So let's start. I see some. Just gonna go. All right. Dr. V, unfortunately, your page isn't loading up on my side. 1 second. Share my screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it appears for me as well. Mhm.
Yeah, Dr. V, if you want to check that out, it's not your page isn't loading up. Right. So let's go ahead with this page. Just gonna load it all up and see everything. And go ahead and take a quick screenshot of that. Perfect. Then I'm just gonna inspect and turn this on mobile as well, and grab the mobile screenshots as well. All right, so we've got mobile, we've got desktop as well. So we're gonna just go ahead and drop that into the page. And let it run. So I'm just gonna go with the fast model here just so that we can try to do as many, oops, well, 1 second. Well, we've just broken it. Just go with the pro instead. Questions, Debbie Star? No, not the URL. So essentially why you don't want to put in the URL yet is because it uses like a crawling feature. A crawling feature wouldn't necessarily give you the whole visual impact. So you do want to take a screenshot of the page to throw in there and not a URL. Does that answer your question, Debbie? Well, I hope that answers Debbie's question. I'm just gonna go back and share my screen. Right, so this is for the current website where we pulled up call to story. And this is the information that we have. So as you can see, we already have some critical fields here. There's no call to action on the hero section of the website. So that's pretty, again, a very common mistake. You can have, if this is your main call to action, what you want to do is make this look like a button, right? So if this looks like a button, people's attention gets drawn to that. So if you notice, we do that a lot with pages that we build for parents, for example, always having that construct, like, something that pops out. It can be in your brand. You can go with the red, like the burgundy that you have here. So that's missing at the very top. You don't have any call to actions. Again, 0 buttons, right? So like just right off the bat, we already have that information. And it also looks at your content a bit, right? The value at the top is vague. The journey of fate. So I'm just gonna copy this over and drop this in a document so that we can try to see if we can get someone else's in there. But just a quick thing, like right at the top, like no call to action at the top. So you want to do a primary call to action at the very top. You want to do a contrast boost, right? It's pretty, there's no color at the top apart from the image, right? So you've got white logo and white text at the very top. You want to do a bit of color in there that's at least could be one of the texts in here is red or second line is red, and that just calls attention. Truncate the introduction on mobile as well. So that's another information that you've gotten on how you can fix that. And then the hero image as well on mobile, the alignment is slightly off. So you want to fix that on mobile just to have it have a bit, because the logo covers the head. There's a lot more text over the image. So you might want to pull it down a bit. So you have all that information in there, right? And then we have the scoring as well. So you've seen what's happening. There's a gap in your, like on mobile, the top bar. So these are all information that you take. There's no urgency on this page. I do understand that this is a website, so it's like maybe not your sales letter, but it's rated the urgency 2/10. So, could have had a bit more like stronger call to actions, like, start today's passive. You want to do something that lets people take action. So quite a lot of information in there as well. So I'm just gonna copy that and put it in a doc and share so that you have that. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to get everybody's pages reviewed, but can I take questions just before I wrap up and share this as well?
If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hands and we'll queue you up.
All right, I've just dropped the link to the feedback that we got for calltostory.com so that everyone can just take a look at that and read through and do a copy of the gem. Yep.
We've got Bill Saka.
Bill, yep. So what's the question that Bill has?
Yeah, hi, Seka. I was just curious on this. Do you have something that's similar to like doing a website audit type thing? You know, visual audit. This is really what this is doing in its own way from a design perspective, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so again, this would work if you do what you want to do is you could either do it page by page. If you're doing a visual audit for a website, you want to grab all the pages, grab the screenshot of every page and throw it in there pretty much, but you want to do it page by page so that you get in very detailed information per page and it's not mixing up the information. So that's what you want to do essentially.
Yep. Thanks.
So I just dropped the link to the gem in the chat. Let me know if everyone's able to get access to that.
No, it's fine. Thank you so much, Shaka. This has been fantastic. We've got one last question from Robert.
Sure.
Robert.
Hey, Saka, great presentation. So basically, I could just take my website and put this into the documentation that you sent us to see what the results will be for my individual website, my individual URL.
Yeah, no, so you need to grab a screenshot of the page, not drop the URL. So the first step is grabbing a screenshot of your page with the plugin that I showed you on your browser. There are a couple of browsers that do this. If you're on Mozilla Firefox, you can just right click and take a screenshot. So you want to take a screenshot and put it in the chat and share it with the gem. And I also shared like individual prompts. If you want to do this elsewhere individually in ChatGPT, you can go ahead and create your own prompts and test out your pages.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You're welcome. I see a question from Daniel. I'm just going to take quickly before have you dropped it in? Yep, we've done that, and then after doing that, so again, sometimes Lovable might miss a couple of things when it comes to conversion rate optimization. So after doing the first draft with Lovable, you want to take the feedback from here and just immediately drop that back into Lovable. Just say, hey, I've taken a look at the website. This is my feedback. Make updates based on this outputs that I've provided. So each section has an output. So you can take the whole doc and drop it in there. You should be able to handle it. Or you can just individually copy the feedback for every section and throw it in there and have it fix it for you.
From Dr. V, do you need to analyze all thousands of pages in an older site, Saka?
So that's what I mentioned earlier. So for older sites, you've already launched. We have a different set of prompts that you want to be doing for older sites. For older sites, as long as you have good analytics on your site, or something similar to good analytics, this prompt pack that I sent in the chat is what you want to use for an existing website. This is specifically for new websites. You don't have any data. This is just predictive stuff based on industry standards. So I just dropped the link to if you have a previous website and you have your data points in there, like Hotjar or good analytics, this is what you want to use.
I think that's about it. Thank you so much, Saka. Excellent presentation. And thank you for gracing our AR Morning Club Tuesday morning.
Thank you, guys. All right.
Oh, there's one more from Sandra. Last one. I want to analyze my website. Can I reach out to you if I run into an issue?
Yeah.
Where can they reach you if they want to connect with you?
So I'm in the Ignite Facebook group. So if you're part of Ignite, you can just check. I'm on the Ignite group, so you can easily reach out to me there. It's the easiest way on Facebook.
Okay, join Ignite then. Thank you so much, Saka. AR Morning Club will see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.